The personnel that's requested 5212, which is Mr. John's first department, emergency services. He's requesting a coordinator with a total cost of $81,000. Jana, what is the, oh, you went back and did it as of October 5th. That's what you'll see, 6805. Well, it's not recommended
Make
at
sure
all.
everybody playing, that's all I'm doing.
Oh, you missed the show. I was gonna take it dirty with anybody. You missed that. You would have missed it.
But the administrator is not recommending that at this time.
Okay, he's asking for one coordinator.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Taylor, could you explain to me what was that emergency coordinator for? You know, why was that put in there?
Well, we used to have Ike Brissy, and that Brissy died back in about 2006, 2007, somewhere in that time frame. That was removed out of our budget. The things that Ike did, he coordinated heavy with our hazmat team, volunteers. He overseen a lot of the response elements day to day. He worked strong with our school districts for an all-hazardous approach. We maintain all our school plans, all of our emergency response plans, and we're very close to our volunteers. And basically what it did is he gave us somebody that was doing the day-to-day interaction there. Is kind of the, I always called him kind of the grunt, the operations guy that was on the ground, the glue that kind of held everything together. And with his death, they just wrote him out of the budget. The next year the council. And that's when a lot of the cuts was going on, a lot of things were being cut and downsized. And we've had to put a lot of programs, completely do away with them. Like all these active shooter situations in schools and stuff, we've got a strong active shooter program that we do. But it's not as active as it was when we had Ike here. Our hazmat program, we're working with volunteers and doing all of the integration training with that, doing a lot of drills and exercises with them, working with the LEPC, which is our local emergency planning committee, which is all of our industry that has hazardous materials in the county. We had that front person with that. Now what we do to fill that hole is, Steve has to leave the 911 center, or I have to leave what I'm doing, or Matthew has to leave. And we're always, instead of having one person that kind of focused on all that stuff, we've all kind of divided his work up. And for the last 5 or 6 years, that's how we've made it all work, is, well, it's 7 years now, but we've all taken a piece of that, and what that means is a lot of times there's a lot of things that we go out to do that don't get done. And what I had told Rita, not decrease the budget, I wasn't looking at the budget increase, but what I was looking at was the 2 technicians in 5213A that we'll be able to reimburse them.
Wait a minute. Okay.
She likes to take one department at a time.
Yeah.
Well, you have to kind of look at this division-wide because it crosses different budgets.
Taylor,
What I want to do.
Taylor, I don't want to be confused. Okay, so you were on one department, you were talking about the personnel coordinator, Ike Brissy, and you were telling me that when Ike died, they didn't refill his position. But did you get any more? Since Ike has been gone, what now, 5 years? 7 years? Okay. Ike's been gone for 7 years now. During that time, have you received any other new personnel? You have not had any other new personnel since Ike left? No, not in that position, but new positions.
He's got 3 people in that department, 5212.
Okay. You have not had nobody else has been in that department? Okay. What's the name of that department?
That's emergency services.
Emergency service. you have 3 people in there now.
This is
Okay.
myself, James McAdams, and Rachel Spear,
Oh, okay. So the 3 of,
Stacy. With Stacy, so we got 4 people.
you have 4 people in this department now. Okay, and these 4 people are doing the job. They have taken on the responsibilities that I can, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Give me the specific job that James McAllister plays. What is his title?
He goes through and does like all our plans for, you have the all hazardous, plan.
Was that built in hazmat?
That deals with hazmat, or not hazmat regulation, but it deals with all kinds of hazardous liability studies, like all our critical infrastructures, the belt and tank farm.
Okay, good.
Portable Dam.
Okay, and who, Skipper, the young lady Skipper, what's hers?
She does our project management, is basically like an administrative assistant type person.
Okay, and the other 3rd person?
It's Stacy who does our budget, oversees paying all of
Okay, but,
bills for the
okay,
whole-
I thought her position was the finance person for your entire department.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm talking about the ones under emergency services.
She is paid for 5212, but she does all his budgets.
Oh, I see.
Because that is kind of the division budget, we look at it, it's the division budget. That he oversees the whole division, so his salary and her salary, they work in tandem to oversee.
But
that
you told me
division.
that there were 3 parts, 5212, what was the other one?
5213.
Okay,
Which
5212,
is Steve.
5213, that's
13
911
communication.
tariff, okay,
521301,
50
which is Matthew Little.
21301. Okay, all right, so now, you've asked him for that, now let's, where is,
The sheet that goes with the statute.
all right. All right, when I looked over your budget, which is in my little markings and questions in the other books, I'm going, what I'm trying to remember here. The thing that I looked at mostly was, there it is, 911, E911. Okay. You know, after looking over the 911 budget, it occurred to me that I didn't understand it. I understand what he does, and thank you for, in the past, taking me down there and letting me see the people. And I've been out there with Mr. Burns, and I've talked to the people. And what you do is a valuable service. But what I don't understand is how do your budget correlate with the 911 budget? I don't understand that. Now, what I have here,
You mean the tariff?
and that's another thing I don't understand. It's called the 911 tariff, and then it's called the E911 budget.
Same.
Well, it's not exactly the same. The tariff is paid for, you're limited by state law what you can pay for it with. Like you can't pay for personnel calls unless it's the director or the training folks or quality assurance folks. So you're kind of limited by positions there. And that is non-county money that comes from telephone surcharges that's put on people, 911 service charge, like here at 61 cents. And so that makes up that, and then like equipment and things that we pay for through the year. There's certain equipment that's 80% reimbursable, there's certain 100% reimbursable from the state 911 commission. And that's why Rita's always got those budgets separate, to keep those clean as far as the payouts.
Taylor, please bear with me for a moment, okay? Last night when I was going through my materials and trying to organize, you see how well organized I am today. I had the 911 terror. I had, what?
The law,
Yeah,
right,
I
statute.
had to find it, and luckily she had a copy of it. And I have it here with me because I wanted to talk about it. There it is. I want to talk about it today. Now, how much money does that generate? Now, wait a minute, let me go ahead and tell you one thing. Some of the questions I ask you maybe sound really stupid to you. I might ask you to tell me how you dig a hole. But wait a minute, if I ask you a question that you think it doesn't make any sense, just answer the question anyway. Because I'm trying to muddle through this the best way I can. I don't know what you do, I don't know how to do what you do. So if I'm asking you a question, please, just go ahead and answer it, okay? Now, tell me, how does your budget and the E911 tariff money that you get coincide? Do you, not coincide, but whatever. Do you have, in his budget, do you have 911 tariff money?
Yes, ma'am, that's what
Okay.
this is.
Okay, now I have lost that. What is that?
I got a message.
Oh, that's you. Okay.
There it is, yes, ma'am. Let's
All right.
flip through it. There's a
Okay.
date in there, you'll see.
Yeah, now.
There you go.
Okay, now, all of the money that you get, it comes out of this?
No,
right.
we have two sides to it. One's the tariff fee, and the other's the general fund.
Okay.
But this is just the
That's-
tariff.
okay, this is
That
tariff.
one.
Okay, all right. Now, all right, well, maybe we need to start with the general fund.
Okay. Let's flip back
Okay.
a few pages in there. Here. With this being communications dispatcher, this is Matthew Wilson,
Mhm.
technical services. So right there stops his
Right here, start.
communications, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, total operating expenses, the administrative recommended $196,375 as your overall budget. That's
Plus
how
that
reads?
4,200, so about $200,000.
Okay, so the administrative recommended $200,000.
That is, but that's just, see, hon, that's operations, that's his salary, so it's not added together, it's not
Okay.
some, so it's about $540,000.
$540,000 is what he, okay, plus, how much do you get from how much does the 911 tariff money generate towards your budget?
Stacy wants to-
970 is what we're budgeting. 600 being tariff, and 370 we get back from the state.
So 600, how much?
600,000 even is what we budgeted for the tariff, and 370 from the state. So a total of $970,000. That goes toward that 911 fund that we were looking at previously.
All right. Was that clear? No. Would you please put that down as something we need to clear up?
Yes, ma'am.
Along with the other things that
Yes,
we have. Now, because I don't understand that.
Yes, ma'am.
But, I started with that one, and, okay. Would you help me to understand why the retirement police thing we did? Because we don't have no police now, the working on communication.
The way I would probably be able to explain it, that Mister's probably one or two that was at the sheriff's office whenever it came over, so they probably had it, and, it came consolidated sooner, they kept their
But are we still paying into their retirement for the sheriff, even though they're not working for the sheriff anymore?
Once they're on police retirement, they stay on police retirement.
But you didn't budget any, you're not asking for any,
There's not
any
any,
communication.
the line item is there, but there's no money budgeted in the police retirement.
We're not asking for anything like that. That was just that was $176.
All right, good.
That was because last year we had, probably our last person was like that as well.
Well, this is the year we're in now.
Yeah,
David
that's
was,
one.
I had asked David about that, she was working in.
Okay, that'll
There
probably
was a-
be reclassified, I mean, that's
Okay.
probably an error.
Okay, all right. Sorry to interrupt you, Lord.
No, ma'am, it's quite all right.
Yeah, but I really wanted you here.
Yes, ma'am. Honored to be here.
It's your agenda, ma'am.
Okay, full time, okay, tell me about your personnel. How many people do you have?
Me, FTEs, total,
Yeah.
63.
63. What is your highest classification of pay?
Supervisor.
Pay
What
grade
level is
10.
that? Pay grade
The
10,
the highest or lowest?
the highest?
You switch on me every time.
Neil, what's the highest?
Hold a second.
28.
28.
No, he's in a different division.
Be careful, because McDade's in 911 here.
Oh, yeah, look at Chipwood.
Yeah, Sharon Chip would be there.
She's at
She's a 20?
20. Yes.
20, so what's the lowest?
James Jackson, where would he be paid out of? James Jackson. He's at 22.
That's your lowest?
And the lowest would be a telecommunicator
And
one
that's a
position.
10.
And that's a 10.
And how much is that?
22,500 position.
Is that the minimum?
Yes, ma'am.
The actual minimum is 21,000.
No, the actual minimum is 19,482, but he requested for a little bit more to be, don't go below this amount, please, or I'll never get it somebody hired if I have a vacancy. So we
Okay.
budgeted a little bit more so that he can find somebody.
Okay, so give me the actual lowest now, as, right now today,
22.5.
22,500 a year.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the lowest, right? And now you said it's 19.
That, for the staffing schedule, for
Okay.
what the county's policy is.
Okay.
That we allow administrators.
Okay. You know, I was under the understanding that it was lower than that it was.
They're hired in at 21.5. And then once they complete training, they move to 22.5. Once they're trained and certified and everything.
Okay. You didn't have one of those upgrades on yours, did you?
No, ma'am.
No upgrades there?
He did ask for 8 additional communications operators.
You have a vacancy over there, don't you? Of how many?
Currently, we have 3, I think.
3 vacancies?
Yeah, we've been pretty good about, filling them, but we still have turnover.
Okay. All right. But you know, I think a lot of miscommunication too could be coming out of your department. Yeah, because I understood it was greater than just 3 vacancies.
There has been, I mean, it's roller coasters.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, at times it's been more, at times it's been full
Mhm.
throughout the year. We're gonna have turnover. It's gonna take an ebb and flow.
Mhm.
Over the last few months, they have stayed fuller than usual.
Oh,
Last
okay.
6 months.
Oh, okay. What's causing that? Do you know why about that?
Trying to actively recruit a little harder, actually trying to over-recruit, knowing we're gonna have openings.
Oh, okay, that's good, that's good. I also understood, that the pay rate, not the pay rate, that the pay was less than what I was told 2 minutes ago, that it was lower. was surprised to find out that, if I got it written down correctly, that, your highest is,
Start at 22.5.
I've had the 22.5 it starts. Okay, but I thought it was lower than that.
You may have been told from the staffing schedule, I'm not sure, but we've always said 21.5 was what they get paid when they start. And after they get checked off, trained up on everything, it's 22.5. And they're about off ball, but that's, you know, whether it's 19 or 22, it's still pretty, just to be honest.
I want you to know.
It's pretty hysterical if you're gonna hire somebody for that. You know, you can go down the street, McDonald's or wherever, make more money.
Not McDonald's.
Well,
Yeah.
but you know what I'm saying. I mean, it's for the jobs they do, for the certifications they have, the training hours that they accomplish. I mean, the survey that we just did, you know, as a county, shows, you know, how underpaid they are. And that's tremendous. You know, we ask them for 8 positions because of the workload. And that's part of the reason why you have the turnover. It's not just pay, but you pay somebody $1 million, but if you're working with them, they're gonna go somewhere else.
The 8 new positions, where is that? Was it?
16.
Thank you, Jesus. Put that top one in. Was it approved? I'm trying to say.
No, ma'am, it's not recommended.
Okay. I still,
Just wanted Stacy looked at salaries across the state of South Carolina, and we ranked number 37 for entry level, and 38 in salaries.
46 counties. Yeah.
But we have the 4th largest dispatch, and the 4th largest call log.
Okay, Stacy, you heard me just say it, right? Could you write that up for me in the secretary? Just as he said, okay. Also, Stacy, do you have the book given by South Carolina Association of Counties that they send out with all of the jobs listed according to counties and how they rank?
I found that online, that's actually what we looked at when we did that worksheet.
Okay, I have a copy of that. You just come and help me clean up my room. But I have been looking for that thing, looking for it. But would you please write that up, because that's going to be important to me. Okay, good, thank you.
If I can make a quick clarification on the highest paid that you had over there. They first said that it was a supervisor that's the highest paid.
Okay.
But that's
at 20,
yeah,
at 22.
The 20
Uh-huh.
that's there is actually for the assistant 911 coordinator, which is right under Steve. The highest paid as far as just the dispatcher was the supervisor, and that was a pay grade 15.
Oh, so that blows my mind again. So the highest paid is a 20.
The highest paid is an assistant 911 coordinator under Steve, and she's at 20.
Okay.
I didn't want you to
The
think the
difference is
supervisor and the
the-
assistant were the same thing.
You've got communication
Mhm.
people,
Mhm.
call takers.
Mhm.
You got different job titles. She's saying the highest paid operator, person in that work center that you saw, not counting
It's
the.
a 20, and the lowest is a 15.
It's
The lowest is a 10.
a 10 and a 15. Pay grade, not salary.
No, I understand that. All right, so what you're telling me is that we have someone at 911 who's a pay grade of 10, right? And is that mid-10, minimum, or is it at the minimum of that 10 pay grade?
That's the 22.5.
That's the 22. Okay. Okay. Honey, you brought it, excuse me for saying that. Excuse me for using that term. But ma'am, you brought that closer. You brought the whole thing down to center. I understand what you mean now. I understood. Because I was thinking it was way, okay, I understand now, and I thank you for that. All right, let's go on. All right, okay. Fuel and oil. Could you please explain that?
She's looking at your.
Oh, I'm looking at your,
We
okay,
haven't
wait,
added
okay.
Yeah, she's in tech services now.
Okay, wait a minute, before we move on, explain to me your different positions. I see you're even on the same page here, but explain to me what you do and what you do, what your positions are.
We segregate them with a one, that's what you want. You see
Okay.
it's a zero over here, that's how you know. That's how I do it. Well, it's inferred.
And how am I supposed to do it? But anyway, please explain it to me, okay, what you do, the two of you.
Sure.
All right.
My responsibility, I am the deputy emergency manager for the
Uh-huh.
county. And part of that responsibility is I oversee emergency management planning. I oversee operating the EOC.
Emergency management planning.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm responsible for making sure the EOC is operational. ready to go.
ESC, Emergency Operating Center, okay,
Yes,
go ahead.
I am responsible for the technical services, which is the 5213-001.
Now, what kind of technical services?
We did, if you remember several years ago when we did away with a lot of our Motorola maintenance contracts.
Oh, Lord, do I remember that?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Uh-huh.
Well, we did away with that by hiring two technicians
Uh-huh.
and created basically our own radio maintenance shop.
Mhm.
So if there's a two-way radio, if
Mhm.
there is a radio tower, if there's the 911 center, anything that deals with public safety communications,
Mhm.
we're responsible for. We work on it, we maintain it, you name it, we do a lot. Not just for the county, but for the municipalities as well.
Mhm.
And there's, trying to think more, you've been out, you've seen our surplus property, our generators, and the Humvees, things like that. I oversee that operation.
Did I see that?
Yes, ma'am.
I remember, yeah, the Army equipment.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
got you, all right, I remember. Go
I'm
ahead.
responsible for making sure that's accountable.
Mhm.
Every year DOD does an audit on it.
Mhm.
We just went through it, passed the flying code.
Mhm.
And basically, anything that's a support function to emergency management, I'm responsible for.
Okay, the fuel and the oil. Okay, you asking for $12,390. Now, that will go into what vehicles?
My vehicle,
Mhm.
our two technicians' vehicles.
Uh-huh.
We also asked for a new technician in the vehicle in the
Mhm.
budget, so if those are
Well,
approved.
we're not getting there yet, we just,
That's kind of why we asked for an increase in the fuel and oil to
Okay.
help fund that as well.
Also, that funds the comms truck, like Mike, I mean, those,
Well, command center?
yeah.
Mhm.
And like all Humvees, other
Mhm.
equipment that's out there,
Mhm.
and our generators.
Mhm.
So like the 911 center, backup 911 center,
Mhm.
all have to be, have generators for all the power tools and power tools.
Okay. All right, I understand that. I understand that. That was my question on that one. This is the personnel request.
Yes, ma'am, it's for 5 vehicles.
Okay, where were these 5 new personnel going?
Two of them were RF technicians and three of them were information technology technicians.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
I'm running that one, but just two or three.
Start over again on that, please.
Two of them are RF technicians. Basically, their focus will be radios,
Okay, what is RF?
radio frequency. If you ever hear me refer to RF radios,
Now, who's gonna remind me of that?
you ask me, I'll be glad.
I'll ask you tomorrow about what's RF? RF radio frequency, so, okay, what the other one?
IT technicians, information technology.
I know what that one is. How many for that?
3.
3. Why?
The demands of, to be quite honest with you, the demands of the 911 center, things are driving so much more IT. When I first got in, things were paper, we had timestamp cards, things like that. The demands for information, things that we push out to the community, such as
Mhm.
Safe Town,
Mhm.
our CAD system, our 911 system, things are so much more IT driven. We're kind of drowning with trying to maintain things. The choices that we look at at this point
Mhm.
are having our own personnel or contracting it out. And my worry and my experience is when it comes to 911, when you contract it out, you're at the mercy of the contractors.
Mhm.
When it's us,
Mhm.
it's my head you get to roll.
I understand that. I can understand that. That's good.
Those technicians, looks like $10. lot of that work is reimbursed.
Absolutely, Chief. You know, one of the things that we've learned we can do is because our target is the 911 center, we get to reimburse, we get to apply for reimbursement for most of those salaries through the 911 committee. And that works to our benefit. I'm right on that, aren't Y'all stop me if they.
Salary reimbursement.
I'm addled right now.
From the state.
For,
E911.
through E911, yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, all right, that's good, that's E911.
And that is our priority. All our
Yeah.
customers know if something's going on in 911 center, everything else waits.
Okay.
That is our priority.
Okay, all right. I know that the 911, you can only get certain things. You can buy only certain things, okay? Do we have a pot of money there waiting for us to buy some things, or have we used up our funds for this year? What month are we in? Are we halfway through using up the funds that they give us?
What we
Can you
do-
understand that question?
Yes, ma'am, I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah. What you're talking about, I guess, is like when we pay for the user fees for the 800 walkies. Like, that's one of the big line items that comes out of that. I think it's about $560,000, 567, something like that. So, maybe what last year, I know that the council added some on, so it can be a little more.
Yeah, 567 exactly.
567.
So you requested for next year, right?
So with that, you know, we pay those fees out, and then we collect others based on what, you know, other fees that we collect out of 911. So like the 61 cents on every cell provider that has a phone in the community. We had the equipment that when we making a buy like CAD equipment, 80% of that's reimbursable. Other equipment that's in the 911 center that we do maintenance and upgrades on, we get reimbursement back from the state based on that. And so what Stacy does a very great job at is she bills them based on what our usage and our fees are, so that we get reimbursed and we're able to bring back into the system, you know, a lot of what the county expenditure is.
Okay,
So-
Stacy, what he just said, when he brings back into the system, where does that money go?
It goes back into the E911 fund balance.
And some to the general fund.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was trying to
Depending
figure
on where
out.
we spend the
Yeah,
money from.
With a lot of what we spend, if I do an invoice and it's paid out of communication, then the 80% that we're reimbursed goes back into the general fund for communication.
That's that.
But we try to buy a lot of what's reimbursable out of the tariff money so that the 20% is being paid for in the tariff.
So we won't be doing double dipping, you know, I think that's good. That's good. All right, I've asked you about the fuel and the oil, and the personnel request, and the retirement, same thing. Okay, is that retirement, do I see a $0 on that retirement out of your department, Matthew?
I would have to ask that.
That state retirement here, and it's 828,285.
Okay, I see it, okay, state, I got it. Okay, now, on the next page, whose budget is that?
That's Matthew.
That's just Matthew, okay. Education equipment. Okay, capital purchase. No capital purchase? You don't want a truck?
Yes, ma'am, I did. Promise you I put in for it.
Jen, I'm glad you said that. Jenna, talk to me. He asked for 2 pickups and an emergency response truck. Administrator is recommending 2, but I think we may have an oversight. I don't see 110,000 recommended. Oh, that's because, we put that over in 360. That's why. The administrator is recommending 2 pickup trucks for 110,000.
Where do you see that now? Right here?
Right here, yes, ma'am.
Right there. All right, now,
It's just much shorter.
why, tell me about the truck.
Sure.
Why do you need them?
Okay, so we'll take what I have currently on hand. My 2 technicians currently on hand. And forgive me for not knowing exacts, I'm not prepared.
That's okay.
Today, I'll do my
Yeah.
best. My 1 technician drives a 2000 model with 170-something thousand miles.
Another one with the
Yes, ma'am, and a second technician drives an '03 drug seizure truck, which has over 200,000 miles on it. What makes us different is where we tow the generators, we tow the trailers, we tow a lot of the equipment. We have to have a vehicle that's capable of legally and safely towing those vehicles, as well as being able to refuel those things.
Yes.
Our vehicles have fuel tanks in them to help support those, as well as our side them. And then, of course, all the tools and equipment we carry. You're more welcome to come downstairs and see what all is in my truck if you'd like.
I would love for you to actually look and see what's in our vehicles and see how they're being used in day-to-day in responses. So you won't see any of our staff that ain't out responding to calls. And they're out there on the front line.
How many vehicles do you have?
Can I get back to you with that, give you an exact number?
I want to write down, write this down. Do you know how many vehicles they have?
I can get that for you shortly.
That's okay, no, it wasn't important. But I
He
just wanted
can
to
tell you
know.
off the head how many vehicles his staff has. I think what he's trying to answer is the Humvees, the generator equipment, that.
I'm
type of
talking about
surplus.
just for your department.
We have three vehicles.
Three vehicles, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
One per person.
Yes, ma'am.
He's got there's three people in his department.
Yours is
Newer.
newer, right?
Yes, ma'am.
He's driving the newer one, we got two on the newer place.
And
Okay, but this what you just got last year?
yes, ma'am. Okay, no great one.
Do y'all get grant money in?
He's a master at it.
Wait a minute, what have I said? Of course you get grant money in because you work really hard.
Yes,
on
he's
that.
a
This
master.
lady here works hard for us.
Yeah, well, kudos to both of you, because I do know you get grant money.
Ms. Floyd, that kudos goes to our whole team. because
Well,
our
I'm sure
whole
it does.
team works very hard to get grants and offset the costs and things. And that's like some of the positions I was talking about. Really, the more positions we've got allows us to get more funding. And, you know, I demonstrated to council members back in 2006, 2007, we lost our position. We were paying most of that position with grant money. And it's one of those things, the more people we've got working and the more things we're doing allows us to generate more grant money.
But,
So what I was kind of showing is we make more, you know, I mean, we're one of those departments that can make money, not just for our department, but for the sheriff's office.
and you have done that. You've done a really good job there. But my question was this. My question was going to be this before I realized what I said. Some of the things that you need, you've asked for, could they come through some of the grants? Could you get is there a possibility we could get grants for them? It's like this new truck that he needs, you know?
Stacy, tell her what we were just told in the last grant audit. About vehicles.
That they're not approving any more vehicles for sled. They want to stick, most of our sled grants come from, for specialized teams, such as hazmat, bomb team, and SWAT team. And we've been able to get a couple of vehicles for those teams on those grants, by justifying that they responded with those vehicles. But they told us in our audit that they're not approving any more response vehicles because grant money is drying up and that sort of thing.
It seems to me a grant money should be flowing plentiful now that the economy. Well, are there any other places where money could be gotten for vehicles?
The LMPG grants are only source we get.
The what now?
The local emergency planning grant, the
Okay.
LMPG grant, is the only one that will allow to drop vehicles off. That's where we purchased Matthew's vehicle from last year. But we can only do that for personnel. So there is a
Specific for the emergency management.
Okay, all right,
So
so,
me and Matthew only two that qualify.
or forget that.
One of the things I was recently talking to Scott Stoller about is his vehicle's in really bad shape. And he works close with us with his bomb dog.
How come Scott isn't here?
We didn't have time, ma'am. He's coming Tuesday.
So
We need, to do it.
But he doesn't report to Taylor.
Yeah, no, all right, go ahead.
he used to, with the reorganization.
I remember that. Go ahead.
But we still work real close. We share the same building together, we do things together. And one of the things is Scott's vehicle, I believe, has about 146,000. We got in on the grant recently.
Okay.
So we recently had a conversation because he was needing a new transmission.
Okay, so for the three of y'all, if a local emergency planning grant, cars could be obtained through, for three of y'all through this, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Are y'all planning on well, the vehicle that you needed, was it approved?
Yes, ma'am, two already that he asked for.
Okay.
Were approved.
2 to 3, okay. If by chance that budget is not, how do I say this? Do you have another way of getting that truck if you need, that's the only way you have, okay?
And
Only
we've
way
tried,
that-
Ms. Boyd, we've tried to make the best of what we have, as long as we can.
Another thing that,
Wait, 1 second.
Hello?
Only way to get that truck is through the county.
The technicians.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Who's about to say something? Oh, you were, go ahead.
the LEMPG grant that he was talking to you about, is usually only about $70,000 or so. So theoretically, only for a year would be able to get one vehicle, even if we could purchase it for other than emergency.
It's only
This will
7,000.
probably be the last year we do that.
Okay.
Most of the federal guidance is going away from trailers, trucks, vehicles. The only thing that they do is like very specialized things like bomb trucks. Communication trucks.
Question. Suppose, if you have asked for something in this budget, and let's say that it was agreed to fund that particular thing that you asked for from council, and let's say you found a grant for it, same thing, and you could get a grant to, would that money go back to the general fund, or would you just?
That would be called supplanting, and we would all go to jail for that, because that would be a violation of the
Okay.
law.
Okay.
So we can't do that.
You can't do that, okay, all right. So anything that you got from the county will stay, anything you get through grant stays? Good, good. All right.
And then just one kind of point of clarification that I want to ask about. I heard a rumor, and this may only be a rumor, that our part-time money in dispatching will be cut out of the budget, which violates their labor standards. Overtime.
Nothing's been. This is going before the council Tuesday night.
For a vote.
Only 7 members can vote to do that.
And we're not prepared to vote. So, the only thing that I know of that has been cut, I have gotten all my information from the newspaper. That is why I decided to have this meeting myself, so I can, this is not to intimidate, this is just to learn. I'm not making any kind of decisions, I'm just listening here. But, it could be rumors rampant out there, Taylor, but I'm just like you. I don't know either, okay? But, okay, I need to hurry and finish up because they've got a 15 minutes. Roger. Okay, we talked about E911. Taylor. Taylor, would you make yourself available to me for more information? Because I want to get into the 911 thing, okay? And whomever works with you in that area, Steve, you know.
Stacy.
And Stacy, okay.
Probably need to have a whole team there, because there's, and we've tried to take that whole budget, we've asked for just taking the whole emergency management budget and putting that in one budget. It would be, and our thing is that, it's good in some ways to be able to track just emergency management things, but the thing about it is, it really takes pieces and parts of each department to really make the division, because we were originally set up as a public safety division, and we still work that way. Even though they got us breaking up in different departments, we're pulling people from here and here and here to do jobs, to do things like Stacy's paying communications, she's doing hazmat, she's paying 911 care, she's doing the whole public safety division.
Hold it. Her money, her pay, in some departments, it seems like I'm remembering something where a person's, like my money, if I work for different departments, it will come out of different department budget. But hers is not like that. Okay, isn't that apartment we have is like that?
We have to pay one person out of one department.
Okay, but no, I've heard that the money comes out of different,
You probably talk
We
about
might
the
do it.
tariff fund, or like Steve's position, because we can collect his back from the 911 tariff as a reimbursement. We have him in the tariff, even though he's the director of the 911.
If it's a one-time thing, if Stacy works for Taylor, she gets paid out of 5212. If she went to the Civic Center and worked in the box office for a night, we would pay her that one night out of the box office. But as a general rule, everybody's budgeted in one
okay,
department.
all right. But I have heard in situations where the money for one person, if she works for all three, I'm just using you as an example, okay? If she works for all three, then some of her money will come from you, you, and you. But anyway, that's not happening. Please go on.
Well, you know, one of the things that we think, you know, the citizens would understand our budget more if it was just one budget. You know, we kind of talked about that before, and it would be easier for Stacy, you know, to manage being in one budget instead of having to, you know, it's like, if we, sometimes it's mission critical. So if like Matthew does something for emergency management, we pay it out of emergency management instead of paying it out of communication. So you gotta track sometimes the mission that it's doing so that you can pay for the cost. And sometimes that's kind of a difficult thing for us to track from the standpoint of budget. But, Ms. Floyd,
You look at the pictures.
I was just looking at Brooklyn Station.
You want to see babies?
You were looking for the time, I was
No. I told you how I'm about the children's pictures.
You thought you would just take time to show us?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take time to look. Okay, all right. Can we talk about capital question? I know about your truck. Did you have anything in here?
Yes, ma'am.
What did you have?
300,000.
85. 385,000 for.
Where's that?
300,000 in the CARES money.
Oh, it's in there 174, down at the bottom, very last item.
Okay, but that means that you want that to come from the terrorist money, the
Yes.
911 money. You're not asking the county out the general fund to do that.
No.
Okay, good.
But we do have to budget for
I
it.
understand.
And that'll be, at minimum, that'll be 80% reimbursed by the state.
Oh, 80%, very good. And that money will go back into the 911 terrorist.
Yes, ma'am.
that's right.
That's all that's what I say.
You see, I would have known this had I not done that.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, had I not had this meeting. You learn like this. Okay. Okay, the hazmat team has requested
That's
to be
grant.
determined.
That's grant money.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, all that's grant.
Okay. How would you guys write me a grant for something, that I need here in Anderson County, but I think you can. All right.
Tell us what it is, because we see a lot of grant opportunities coming across the desk.
we put that salary in the
You are
capital.
Thank you.
Talk privately.
Thank you.
We put that salary
Keep doing it.
maturity for neighborhood, we put that in our capital.
But can't that come out the email?
Salaries.
I bet you they took it out.
What department's that, sorry? Did that come to us late? Was that after, that was after the budget one, after the
That's initial request.
Good.
A salary?
I thought I heard you still say Taylor funded him, but it was later once you'd already got the numbers. We'll have to look at that, man.
Well, I sure would like for you to do that, because that's one of the things I was gonna hop on. That sorry. Also, that rescue dive boat, was that for me?
It's for the whole county, but it would be used on Lake Providence.
No. I want replaced what y'all took. You understand what I'm talking about? We're gonna fight. Now? Or we're not gonna fight? Why? Oh, what, man? You know. What how they said, you get beat up when you had to. Okay, but I like the, I still want that replacement as well as that siren that's needed over there.
Ms. Gordon, when you think about outdoor warning sirens, I want you to kind of try to remember those sirens only cover 1 to 3 square miles. And the county is 788 square miles. And they're about 25 to 30,000 feet.
But Matthew, the only thing you told me is that we need more than one.
That is your call.
Yeah.
I just wanted to give you the information you needed.
So, what's in this area now is nothing.
No.
They say that you could use the fire station stuff, but that doesn't go as far as a siren would.
It does not. And the reason, and one of the big reasons that I push that, Ms. Floyd, is when I look at the cost and look at what it covers, there's so much more outdoor ambient noise now than there was 20 years ago. We really push those weather radios that you can buy for about $30 a piece.
I was made a gift of one. That thing hadn't worked since the day I put it in that room.
Bring it to me, I'll fix it.
Yeah, I can't use it. I don't know how to use it. I get nothing but static when I try to use it. And if I'm on the outside in my yard, that's not going to help me none at all. It's just that I'm blessed to be a person who watches the weather station when the clouds go.
You know, I was just fixing to say that. You know, there's a lot of it to be said for a bit out there and you look up.
Yeah.
This is a house that got hit last week by a tornado. Yeah.
I heard about it.
Yeah. And the reason that this little girl's life was saved is she got her eyeballs alert.
She got her what?
She got the eyeballs alert. She left the house,
How'd
went
she
across
get
the
it?
street
How'd she
to her
get the
cell
alert?
phone.
Her cell phone.
It's not something, you can't opt out of that. It's a federal mandate.
She realized that she was in a wooden house. She said that, from what she'd been trained in school, and that might have been part of the whole outreach program that I used to do.
Yeah, yeah.
And she remembered that, and she went across the street and got the neighbor's basement, called dispatch and asked if she could work in it. And dispatch wouldn't give her permission to do that, they violated the law. So she went and pulled on the door and it opened, and she went into their basement.
Is there anything else that you can tell me about your department, your division, that will help me do a,
Talk about the
good job?
costs that we've saved over, say, the last 2 or 3 years. The phones, the IP-based phone network, those type things that where we made a big impact on general fund, saving money.
In 3 minutes or less.
And they were getting a whole bunch of money back from the state that helped general fund and our tariff.
So we try to figure out how to live in a Biltmore house with a trailer parked up. And sometimes we're successful, sometimes we're not. But the reality, what we really try hard to do is if we pay the technician for anything radio, bench rates right now for most shops are $55 an hour, and field labor rates are between $90 and $110 an hour. Anything IT starts at $250 an hour with a minimum of 4 hours if we contracted that out. So when all the work we do in-house, we track that now, and we can tell you how much money we save in any given month, because we say, all right, if it took us 2 hours and we've done that in-house, we saved $110 to the taxpayer.
Matthew, what you're saying is so interesting, okay? But I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm sorry.
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry.
It's probably most of my fault. They've got a meeting coming in here too.
Yes.
Okay, we started this meeting on time, but we just didn't. Could you stay and go with me until we're gonna go next door? And you tell me this again. I want to hear this, okay? But I'm gonna move next door into just the audience. You sit over there. Could you give me about 10 more minutes at a time?
As much as you want.
And let's go, and you tell me that again.
Right.
And I haven't asked you all to tell me anything you think I need to know that I have not known up in this place. All right? And I've already asked you to please avail yourself to me on Tuesday. If I call, and, yeah, please, okay? This is budget time, and this is what we need to be doing.